until we understand first economics. Every other race on this planet understand economics to the fact of economics that they study a race-first philosophy. We are far away from that. So in this little time that I have, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what Powernomics is about. He has 2 other books. Well, at least 5, but I'm going to show you 2 other books. One is called Dirty Little Secrets. The other one is called More Dirty Little Secrets by Dr. Claude Anderson. And it's about Black history. So now I'm going to read to you a little something about this book, Powernomics, the National Plan to Empower Black America. This is part of a 5-year plan to make Black America a prosperous and empowered race that is self-sufficient and competitive as a group by the year 2005. Now, in 1995, in an interview, Claude Anderson said that by 2013, we would fall from a position of being number 2 when it deals with economics all the way down to 4. This is 2023, and he is absolutely correct. It was when you spoke, we would say black and white, and always the comparison was either white or black and white. Then it became Hispanic and on and on and on, Asian and on. Now it's black and Hispanic. It's white and Hispanic, then Asian, and guess where we at now? Number 4. We got a long way to climb back up to get up there to 2nd place again. But I don't see that happening. Personally, I don't see that happening. Because when this country made the decision, and I won't say the word, to find some new people, y'all know what my word is, right? I didn't want to even say that. Some new people, they pushed us out the way. In Toma, we were saying Pharaoh had let us go, but we didn't want to let Pharaoh go. We kept holding on to his leg, and every time he kicked us to the side, we grabbed him again, and we still are begging Pharaoh to take us back. Because we have not gotten out of our servitude, slave master relationship with that other race. And I know a lot of you all, don't really want to hear us continue to talk about your friend, the white man. But this white man has messed us up so bad that we are the only people who do not fend for themselves. Look at everybody else. Just look in your mind's eye at the other groups. We the ones begging. And I mean begging. You think grant is because they grant it to you. No, we have to beg for that. And we pray and have our fingers crossed that they grant us something. We might as well believe in the tooth fairy. You know how we get our tooth, when we was a kid, and we put it under the pillow, praying and begging and asking that the tooth fairy get that from under there, and we have a gift in place of it. Well, we just like that today. Because we write that grant, and then we send it, and we cross our fingers, and we pray that when we wake up one morning, it'll be under our pillow. Is that correct? And we beg for it. And then we done tricked ourselves into believing. And you can take it however you want to. We've tricked ourselves into believing that those tax dollars are ours. I have to say it that way. And we say that because we accept the use of deceptive intelligence to rationalize a behavior that we have that's inappropriate as a people when it comes to other races. Claude Anderson mentions inappropriate behavior in his book. And I want to share with you some of that inappropriate behavior. Sad to say. Now, at 12:45, I'm going to try to get to our solutions. He says here, it is inappropriate behavior when our actions encourage dependency on the white society. The more a minority group, especially a planned Black minority, becomes dependent on the majority white society, the harder it is for the group members to differentiate who they are and behave in their own best interest. Now, here in Toma, we practice something called Black Power. And we say that it's the power to define, to develop, and defend that which is in the best interest of Black people. Now, the persons or the group that laid that out for us as to what Black Power looks like was the Black Panther Party. And this is how they defined Black Power. Now, we will take words and quotes from others that relate to what we accept and believe in also. And one of those quotes is that Black Power, being that power to define, develop, and defend what's in our best interest, it's saying race first. Race first. And if we can just wake up to the understanding that that's not racist, that every race on this planet practices it, but us. We walk around and we whisper when we talk about white people, tell the truth, shame the devil. We whisper. He says it here. I'm going to keep reading some things he said. He says that we generally are willing to accept our poor quality of life and avoid any form of competitiveness unless it is against members of our own group. Isn't that sad? Collusion with the competition. He says when we talk about coalition building, he says it's a popular concept, but coalitions almost always operate at the expense of Black Americans. Black participation gives credibility and strength to ethnic, class, gender, disabled, and Spanish-speaking people. What is he saying? He's saying that when we form these coalitions, and these coalitions are with other groups, all right? Now, we don't have articulated goals when we come together with them. And so they print some out for us. And they basically, when we accept them, we're accepting their goals. And who do you think gonna benefit first off of it? They are. But we always in these coalitions with them, aren't we? We giving them their credibility. And then he says when Blacks participate in coalitions, they allow the unique status, history, and debt owed to Blacks to spread to all of the subgroups. In other words, when we say reparations for ourselves, if we put it on their agenda in the coalition, guess who's gonna get it? It won't be us. Anything we ask for in that coalition and it becomes a part of the coalition, they're gonna dish it out, and I'm gonna say it in black and white, from to the lightest skin down to the darkest. And by the time they get to the darker group, they get nothing. They'll even give it to a lighter Black person before they give it to a dark person. I know I'm telling the truth. So now, in collusion with this competition, what do they mean by in collusion with the competition? Races compete against other races for economic gain. But blacks only compete against blacks. That's a problem there. He says in collusion with the competition, coalitions give Black Americans a trickle-down political experience. They get what is left after gender, ethnic, religious, disabled, Spanish language groups, and the coalition receive what they want and need. Black Americans lose by default due to the inappropriate behavior of Black leaders who choose cross-group alliances, white approval, and corporate dollars at the expense of their own people. We see that happening every day, don't we? Every day. Now watch this social etiquette thing about how we know exactly how to stay in our place. Did you hear what I said? I said we as Black people know how to stay in our place. I think Carter G. Woodson said that we so used to going in at the back door that if we went to the back and there was no door, we would create one just to come through. We wouldn't go around the front. That's how well we've been tricked. Many Blacks across America, especially in the South and Midwest, continue to honor old social customs. They avoid situations that make them appear free. I'll say that sentence again. I said, we avoid situations that make us appear free, that makes us appear independent.
Us for a weekly Sunday worship service.
We are not really interested in our own life. We're perfectly happy to just go to work or to church, look at television, then go to bed. They still know their place. To them, what happens to Black people locally or anywhere else is of little concern. They want to appear as good Negroes, content, happy, compromising, and non-competitive. A good Negro or a safe Black person seeks approval of whites. I'll read that again. A good Negro, because if this is you, I want you to see the reality of who you really are among us. A good Negro, good one, or a safe Black person seeks approval of whites. These Blacks will neither speak up nor speak out on Black issues, nor will they defend against Black injustice. It is go to work, come home, look at TV, go fishing, go to work, be on vacation, go someplace and have fun to the lounge, come back home. They do not want to upset the apple cart. They do not want to cause no friction with no other group. Then you got the group who avoid Blackness. The ones who exhibit this behavior avoid association with any form of Blackness. They want to be the first or the only Black in some integrated company. The first Black on the block with white people. The first Black in the school. The first Black on the job or in your neighborhood. Like whites, many Blacks gauge the amount of Black presence. There's some Black people, if it's too many Blacks in the space, they'll leave. They so used to being among white people. They don't want to be associated with a picture taken and they white counterparts see that picture and you're in a room full of Black people. I know y'all don't believe those people exist, but they do. He said, like whites, many Blacks gauge the amount of Black presence, and anything that's not integrated or that's all Black is too Black and politically incorrect. This phenomenon is only peculiar to Blacks. Why? I don't know, but if you notice, you don't hear any expression coming from people talking about somebody's too Jewish or too Indian or too white or too Asian. Avoiding Blackness allows many to live in a state of denial until the reality roosters come home. While blacks do not mind being identified with a particular sports team or a political party, they reject being identified with the skin color team that God assigned them. Y'all see the challenge we have? We got $1 trillion we spend every year. All right? Every year. And only 2% of the dollars we spend with our own. But 1.1 trillion every year, a trillion. If we spend only 10% with black businesses of that 1 trillion, we would generate approximately 1 million jobs. Just buying black and circulating among black businesses with black people. In 2007, residents on the south side of Chicago in the predominantly black areas spent a collective $3.8 billion. But guess what? Outside of their community. What are we talking about? Where are we talking about? Okay, I'm gonna quickly say where I'm talking about when I say outside of the community. Marshalls, Toys R Us, TJ Maxx, Carson Pirie Scott, Macy's, Saks Fifth Avenue, Ashley Stewart, Sears, JCPenney, Bloomingdale's, Nordstrom Rack. Shall I keep going? Look at all these malls we spend our money at. River Oaks, Fox Valley, Woodfield, North Riverside, Gurney Mills, Chicago Medium Outlet Mall, Orland Square, Forward City, Yorktown Mall, Promenade Mall, Bolingbrook, Stratford Mall. And it's a long list, y'all. Do you see anywhere where it's saying our own community? Do we have a list of black businesses? And we got plenty. We got plenty. The reason we go out of business is because we spend our money somewhere else. Every other race can depend on other races to buy from them. But us, we only depend on ourselves 100%. There's no Arab or Asian that wake up in the morning looking for a black business to spend their money with. So we got a major challenge here. We watching other races live on 2 incomes, theirs and ours. And they surviving because we want to stay asleep. We don't want to wake up. We don't want to circulate our black dollars among ourselves. We want to continue to depend on somebody else to do for us what we should be doing for ourselves. I don't know what it's going to take to shake us out of this mind state. Maybe we need to be slapped 150 times. Maybe we need to hit against the wall a couple of times. I don't know what it's going to take. Because they're benefiting off of us 24 hours a day as I speak. They're getting paid off our bodies in jails and prisons throughout the world. Over 2 million people locked up in these penal institutions. But 80% of those people in there is us. Out of 2 million people. But we still talk about it. We still speak about it. We still teach about it. But still nobody's doing nothing about it. We got all the examples that we need. We got the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. We got the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Then we got a book, Powernomics, by Claude Anderson. We got the most successful black man in Chicago that mostly nobody know about, named S.B. Fuller. All of these guides, Guides, but instead, we want to stay like we are. Deep down inside, we want to stay like we are. Because we blot out the people who dare to be different. We blot out the people who truly have our best interests at heart. We don't want to pool our resources. You know what that means? That's so simple. It's like saying everybody in here say, we're going to give $10 a piece every day, and we're going to form our own police force in our community. And we're going to pay them to patrol our community, to keep our community safe. We're going to pay them. Why? Because we pooled our resources. That means we took our money and put it together for a common cause and a purpose. That was something small. See, but we go to these different meetings. All of these scholars and all go to all these different meetings. It'd be 30, 40, 50 people there. And we can't pool our resources to build something for ourselves or to even build off of what we already got. We can't pool our resources. We still can't trust each other, but you can trust the white man and you can trust that doggone error to beat you down every day and you keep coming back. You want to accuse the whole black community when one black business do you wrong, but 10 Arab businesses can do you wrong and you'll come back tomorrow. What kind of mentality is that, black people? We had two major movements present themselves to us and show us what do for self look like. Showed us what it looks like. And we won't do it still. We don't want to come together. We want to talk together. That's it. You want to talk unity? I was in a meeting once. And I said, if we're going to come to a meeting and get our egos out the way, and I'm going to close on this. I said, the first thing I think we can do to leave our egos at the door is get rid of all our titles. They were like, they were shocked. Did he really say that? I said, yeah, get rid of all your titles. When we address each other, it's brother and sister. Sister Cheryl, Sister Ebony, brother, say your name again. Brother Deontay. I was about to call you Durante. Brother. Now, he might have all kinds of degrees, you know. And we had people who were Moors and all of that, grand sheiks and national, you know, this and doctor that and you know, all of that, right? And they want to sit there with those degrees. They couldn't believe that I had said that. So a Moor had to give up me a 5-minute reason why we have to keep our titles. Isn't that a shame that a nigga can't, I slipped out, didn't it? That we can't function without a title. You ain't got to call me sax preacher. You ain't got to call me mister. Just call me brother. You ain't got to call me minister, because guess what, y'all? I know who I am. And I'm comfortable with me. You don't have to tag me like a package. That's the way you identify yours, ain't it? With that package. And the tag be on it. You don't have to tag me. I am that I am. And I believe if every other person had that understanding, we can sit down at a table of unity, calling one another brother and sister when we address each other, and we shouldn't have a problem if they say God, Jesus, or whoever else. It shouldn't matter. If you're smart with all that education, you should know it's one God. So why are you spending so much time arguing about it, fool? See, it's just some crazy stuff. Y'all see what I'm saying? It's time for me to go, though, but I'm not gone yet, y'all. I'm just going off the air. I'm still at 616 East 71st Street. Hop in your car, come on down, run even, and make it on over here, because I got 30 more minutes to share with you solutions to our challenge. Solutions, that's a solution. Everybody come in and you just brother and sister. But no, you don't want that. You work too hard for that title.
Weekly Sunday worship service. We invite you and your family to join us live every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street at our new time from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. and on Facebook from 12:30 to 1 p.m. If you have enjoyed what you have heard, please feel free to support us with a monetary gift on Cash App at $TOMANATION. Once again, that's $TOMANATION. This will conclude our live stream. The message you have been listening to will continue live here at the Toma headquarters. We thank you, Black family. See you next Sunday. Black Power.
This is the return of the Black Spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Peace, peace. I hope you enjoyed that lecture from Minister Raheem Kassed Aten on Economics is Black Power. We are continuing our discussion for day 2 of this lecture. Minister Raheem said a lot of things in the lecture. If you've been following us, you know he's not saying anything new, talking about the importance of us being responsible for our own communities, for our own financial futures. In the lecture, you know, he talked about Dr. Claude Anderson, and when Dr. Claude Anderson gave us that deadline of 2013, that by 2013 we will fall lower than you would usually. It was blacks and whites and black, you know, that's how economics was. It was black versus white economics, but then we will fall lower, and then that's what happened. He predicted it correctly that our net income for black families is less than that of a Latino family, and that is very true in 2024. And so when we have these conversations or these discussions here at Toma Nation, and you start to learn what we stand for and what we're about, when we mention stuff like that, you don't have to believe us. Google is free. All you have to do is go in and Google it to find out the research. And so when we have this conversation, excuse me, about economics is Black power, when I think about that, it reminds me of during the civil rights movement and the Montgomery bus boycotts. And we always hear about, you know, Rosa Parks and, you know, everything that happened with that, and, you know, all the bus companies losing money and them fighting, excuse me, them fighting to be able to sit, excuse me, in the front of the bus. But we never hear about the economic end of it. Do you know that entrepreneur S.B. Fuller, who was an entrepreneur who at the time was living in Chicago, and he put a different spin on it. He was pushing that, okay, so the bus companies are losing money. Let's not just fight to sit in the front of the bus, but let's buy the bus companies. Let's buy the bus companies that have been giving us this hell. We're causing them to lose money every single day. They're going to be more likely to want to sell. So let's buy the bus company. See, he took that civil rights issue and then turned it into an economic issue, because we know economics is the highest form of warfare. What would have happened if while they were fighting, they bought all those bus companies? What change could that have created when we realize that protesting is only going to get you so far? You know, strikes is only going to get you so far. But the true testament is showing your community or showing the powers that be that this is an economics issue. It truly is. And until we start to realize that our communities are in a state of decline by design, and until we decide to take responsibility for our communities, take responsibility for ourselves, that they're going to be continuing in a state of decline. You know, we had a lot of back and back, arguments in our community and on social media about the election, about who's going to win, the harlot versus the beast, who's going to win. And so the beast won. And so we know that he's going to do what he was sent here to do, and that's going to continue this America's descent into getting its just dues for all the things that it's done. And so you had all of these people like, well, oh, Trump is a businessman, he's going to do this, and oh, Trump gave us a stimulus and he's going to do that. All of these conversations were still based off someone else coming in to give you something. I've been on a training call with a brother who was from Chicago, and he lives in Atlanta. And you start to change, your mindset when you start to talk about, okay, when you hear the sentence economics is Black power, what does that inspire in your mind? And you heard Minister Raheem said, when you thinking about Black power, you think about the Black Panthers. So in 2024, when we talk about economics as Black power, voting with your dollars, right? Being responsible with your dollars, supporting Black-owned businesses, supporting Black entrepreneurs, because we know that Black businesses go out of business as fast as they go into businesses. Why are we the only people who we have to make the case to spend our dollars with people who look like us? Because it's already ingrained in other races' minds. Because we know that here in America, it's by design that they've thrown everything at us to get us to not support each other. We know that. And so we got to go above and beyond to say, hey, ask yourself at the end of the day, have you spent your money with a Black-owned business today? At the end of the week, have you spent your money with a Black-owned business this week? At the end of the month, have you spent your money with a Black-owned business this month? How many Black-owned businesses have you supported this month? If you had a bad experience with a Black business, like many people try to use this as an excuse, go find another Black business. There's a gazillion Black businesses out here. Let's talk about Chicago. You eat at a Black-owned restaurant, you didn't like the food. Go eat at another Black-owned restaurant. That shouldn't stop you. Or give positive, constructive criticism to the restaurant. If you don't want to do that, find another Black business. It's no excuse that we are not spending more of our money with businesses that look like us. Because guess what? Every day you get up, you go on that beauty supply. You go on that beauty supply looking for your hair, your nails or whatever. They follow you around the beauty supply like you're a criminal. Does that stop you from going back in that beauty supply? Nope, you right back in that beauty supply that other week when you get paid again. You right back in that same beauty supply. You go in Jewels or you go in some of these other stores. They follow you around the store like you're a criminal. Security treats you like you're a criminal. Disrespectful as crap. But you gonna go right back in that store the very next day. So why when you find a Black business and it may not be up to par, that you use that as an example to not support other Black businesses instead of just finding another Black business to support? We are the only solution to improving our communities. Us. It's on us, as Tony Mono would say. It's on us. Nobody's going to hop in. Trump ain't coming to hop in to save you. Kamala wasn't going to hop in to save you. And so if we want to see true improvements in our communities, it's only on us. And this is the same thing that what Minister Raheem was talking about. Why are we the only people? We're the only race of people who we beg the government to feed us. We beg the government to house us. We beg the government to give us a job. And if it wasn't for those government programs, we would be in a state of misery, way more than we already are. Instead of promoting entrepreneurship among our youth, we know that entrepreneurship is truly the key to having an alternative to violence, incarceration, and the street economy. We know that that's the key. Entrepreneurship and supporting Black-owned businesses
circulating the black dollar, because we know, I mentioned this on Sunday, circulating the dollar is just like circulating the blood in your body. If the blood in your body doesn't circulate, what happens? You die. What happens when your extremities, when you get a disease like diabetes, and it starts to mess with your blood flow, and then the blood stops flowing to your hands or to your feet or to your legs or to your arms? What happened? The doctor cuts it off, right? Because it gets gangrene, it turns black, the limb literally dies right in front of you. Same thing is what's happening with our communities, because we're not circulating the black dollar. The money is going out of the community as soon as you cash that check, as soon as you get that direct deposit, money already gone. And so if the money isn't circulating in the community is doing what? The community dies. It's in a state of disrepair. Can you go outside right now and walk around and see your community in a state of disrepair? And this isn't just for Black folk here in Chicago. I'm talking about Black folk in any major city across this country. This is in New York, Houston, Philadelphia, Detroit, Jacksonville, Los Angeles, St. Louis. It doesn't matter. We're talking about the same thing about if you're not circulating the black dollar, then you can see the direct result of that. And we see the direct result of not circulating the black dollar. And so the responsibility is on us, brothers and sisters. We have to start to, one, take responsibility for our own communities and start to share this message. If you like what you have heard, feel free to drop us a comment in the chat. Feel free to share us a message. And if you would like more information about this lecture or any of our previous lectures, you can always feel free to shoot us a text message at 773-846-3091. I really enjoyed Minister Raheem's lecture. I hope you did too. It's a message that is not just for you, it's also something to share and your friends, because we have to continue this discussion that economics is the highest form of warfare, and economics is Black power. Spending your money with Black businesses is practicing Black power. Supporting Black-owned businesses is practicing Black power. And then also supporting entrepreneurship of the next generation is practicing Black power. Because once again, until we get to the notion that the only person or the only people that are going to save us is the people who look like us, is yourself, and to take the responsibility for our communities and for our families, we're going to continue to be in a state of decline. And we're already on the economic bottom of this country. I don't know if we below the economic bottom. So what is it going to take for you, Black man, Black woman, Black family, to start practicing economics as Black power? Thank you so much for joining us, and you have an awesome and amazing evening.